All right, everybody, welcome to Wrestling with Reality. It is Saturday night. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. I am John. And of course, joining me as always is my partner. He's healing. He's back on the mend. He had a rough day yesterday. Mr. Rich Flair. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Had a successful surgery, got through that shit, and ended back up in the hospital in a car accident the same day, so go fucking
like
me.
10 minutes out of the hospital, right?
No, it was later. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, so.
Poor guy.
Yeah, so we ended up back in the hospital last night. That was not a fun time, but healed up. Truck's gonna get fixed. It's my brand new truck, man. But what can you do? You know, and that's why I kind of requested to do the show with you tonight, get my mind off of some things, and have a positive one. So hopefully you guys are doing good. I'm glad to see Jude in the chat. We are glad you're on this side of the dirt still, my friend. And the Rabbi's here, Jeremy, Laza, what's up, buddy? Hope you guys are doing good, my friend.
Sean's here too.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Put the comments up. You could be Rabbi. We don't know yet.
You could be Rabbi.
Good Saturday afternoon.
Rabbi's definitely a chicken shit. That's
he doesn't come on and confront the rewind. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Devon,
get the muffins, Devon.
Get the muffins. What's up, Sean? Good to see you back. I always see you in the comments afterwards, but it's always good to see you live. Well, Laz is here from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Damn it, dude. Good to see you, my friend. Glad to see you're feeling better. On the mend. Everybody's doing well, it seems, this weekend. I'm glad to hear that. Man, Christmas is coming, bro.
Yeah, man.
Y'all decorated up yet? You getting ready to get decorated?
We wait till the day after Thanksgiving to decorate. We usually decorate around Black Friday.
See, it goes up in my house right after Halloween because my daughter's the damn Christmas queen. So.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that shit, man. I wonder if Rabbi decorates his house for Christmas or just a Hanukkah guy.
For Hanukkah, Rabbi. You know, what's going on?
You spinning dreidels over there or what?
You having a good time over there, Rabbi, around that time? When does Hanukkah start this year? Mazel tov, my friend. Mazel tov. Moses don't want the rewind smoke to eat. Yep. Ian Rodden is notorious for not paying talent as a promoter or big names as well, so a good mention for the biggest manipulator. Yeah, you have to love the wrestling mentality on that shit, you know? And those people. Mm-hmm. He said Thanksgiving first for him.
So I kind of want to open up with a topic that I was just looking at, and it's a big discussion right now because a lot of people, including Eric Bischoff, who is, you know, huge influence in wrestling, has been forever. One of the greatest promoters of all time, one of the greatest minds in the business, not exactly, but one of the greatest promoters. You got to give him that credit. He's actually talking a little bit about WWE's contractors, you know, and stuff like that, because David Otunga came out and said he was going to expose WWE for their contract for superstars, basically, and how they call them independent contractors.
I'm so sorry,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my kid's mother, Firestone Hospital, passed away, man. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Prayers, my friend. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to hit on that.
No, you're fine. That's tough, dude.
Yeah.
God, how can you follow up with that? Yeah, so basically there's been a lot of stink going on about the independent contractor thing. It's funny how we're talking about manipulators tonight. You know, WWE, the way they do things is they basically call you an independent contractor, but that's not the case because, you know, essentially you can't work anywhere but WWE if you're in the WWE. So
yeah.
What do you think about it? I mean, Eric Bischoff disagrees with how they run things. David Otunga is trying to expose it, make it better for everybody. What do you think, man?
I think if they're paying somebody and it's like they have it written in the contract for 90 days, I can see that as long as they're compensating them for that time. I'm fine with that for like 90 days on a no compete. But these bullshit ones that they're doing with people for like 1-2 years. I mean, imagine like you leaving your job or me leaving mine or any of you guys leaving yours. And then them saying to you, well, you can't get a job in your field of in your profession, whatever your field is. You know, we all have different fields for our professions, but you can't do anything in it for the next 2 years. So, you know, you can quit, but you just can't do anything in it. You got to no compete for 2 years. First off, I got to say this for the people that sign that, you got to be fucking stupid to sign that in the first place. B, how is that not illegal that people are doing that? How would that even hold up in court? And then C, it's just a scumbag move in general to do to somebody, you know, because they don't work there. You know, either you release them or they don't want to work there anymore, or you don't decide. That's just a scumbag move to say to somebody.
Yeah, so this was all brought up because the Andrade stuff that's been going on, you know. Mm-hmm. My thing is this: if you're going to call somebody an independent contractor, where I get upset is a lot of these wrestlers can't show up to the independent autograph signings and stuff like that. They have to do everything under TKO's banner. And it's really fucked up. I mean, we can't interview WWE superstars, nothing like that, even
unless you have an agreement with them.
Unless you have an agreement with them. So it makes it difficult, you know. So if we're talking, we got to open up tonight, manipulators in wrestling, TKO for sure, dude. Because if they're going to continue this horse shit with this fucking independent contractor stuff, just call them what it is. They are your property. When you sign that dotted line with WWE, that's what you are. You're their property.
And let's be realistic. The only reason they don't make them, full-fledged employees is because they'd have to give them disability benefits. They'd have to give them health insurance. They'd have to give them all those types of things. Yeah. And they don't want to do it for that reason. But if you're not going to do those things, if you're not going to make them an employee, if you're going to try to treat them like an employee, which is still what they do, despite them being contractors, they still treat them like employees. Mm-hmm. They still subject them to drug testing potentially.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, all those
How can you do that?
If you're going to do that, and then on top of that, they're working way over the full-time schedule of what it would be to be an employee, Mm-hmm. So that my opinion, you got to get rid of the independent contractor, and you got to call them a member of the team, an employee, something. I mean,
it'll never happen. It's why Jesse Ventura had the beef with them back in the day when he was trying to create a union for them. And
I don't want him to create a union per se. I just think it's bullshit that they don't allow these guys to go outside of it to get sponsors unless it's approved by TKO. They don't let them do any of that type of stuff.
The only way that they could fight back against them though is if they were unionized, because if not, it's just you going against them. They're the big billion-dollar machine, and then they're not. You're not going to be able to go against them. The only way that they could combat them is if they ever would have done a union, which they're never going to do it because you got all these people. You got to figure, like, as much as I love Hogan, you got to be realistic on it. Hogan was the one that really kiboshed that union thing when they were starting to get some steam on it back in the day.
Sure.
And that's why Jesse Ventura hated him so much, because he felt he went behind his back on it, and Hogan did. No, as much as I love Hogan, another manipulator, person that manipulated things for themselves.
Yeah.
Because Hogan was looking at it at that point in time, and
Hogan.
The 80s and 90s, he's making probably $10 million a year in the 80s and 90s off of them. Do you think he wanted to rock the boat to be able to, make sure that Joe Schmo that's way lower on the card has better benefits and is taken care of better? Fuck no, he doesn't want to do that. They look out for themselves.
Right. And it's the same thing that's going on in the UFC. It was kind of interesting. They were just having the conversation. Brendan Schaub on his podcast was talking about how the fighters now that you get away from this pay-per-view model, if you're the top guy on the card, such as a Conor McGregor or whatever, what's the incentive to fight on the card? Because a majority of your money is coming from the gate and the pay-per-view buys. He was getting a fat check from pay-per-view buys and being the top seller. So what motivates you to sell the PLE anymore if you're not getting that check anymore?
I agree.
You're going to have to out the gate tell them, no, we're renegotiating my contract because you got rid of that portion of the business deal now. Yeah, that's great. You got $7.7 billion. Now you can rank up the dough on paying the fighters more too.
Yeah.
So the UFC is going to have a real big issue. And I think it's funny how now they have this partnership with WWE and they're following WWE's footsteps with doing the PLE. And it's crazy because, like, think of it this way. You remember when that interview came out and they said they weren't interested in building stars anymore. It was to make WWE the focal point of the whole show. They're doing the same thing with the UFC now.
Absolutely. Of course. They want to deviate themselves from that. They want to separate themselves.
I will guarantee you that the UFC will never have megastars again.
No, they won't.
Just because like WWE.
They've realized that when you invest yourself in just one person like that it fucks you. And then that one person controls your entire business.
Yep.
So no matter what, even though it's a great business move to do that, their mindset is these people will, they'll try to renegotiate. They'll try to exploit us for more money. What if they get injured? What if they, we have to be the brand itself, not the person, not the people that identify with it. Laza, this is a great film too. I watched this on the plane on the way home from Thailand this year. This movie called Founder, and it's really a lot, isn't it? Michael Keaton is fantastic in it.
He's one of my favorite actors.
It's exactly what happened in WWE, because he ended up taking the business from the original fucking founders of McDonald's, the people that created everything, their ideas, their sauces, their brands, their everything. And this guy got them and just bamboozled them out of it, And you look at WWE now, they kind of did the same thing to Vince, of course. you know? When shit got tough, they bamboozled him out. So it's a very good analogy, and it's a really good movie. So if you guys have never seen it, it's only like an hour and 30 minutes. It's a really good watch. You know, it's really good. Jude brings up a good point here about Ridge Holland. Did you see about this guy?
I did. Is that the guy that they released?
It's the guy they didn't renew his contract that broke his neck. It's the guy that has injured multiple people in the ring. So I'm not in the people that's going to say this because accidents happen, and I'm not going to sit over there and dog the guy out for it and say he deserved what he got, like some people are saying, because he hurt a few people. You know, do I think he's a good worker? Absolutely not. Do I think he's a guy that probably was very careless in there? Absolutely. But I don't think anybody intentionally goes to hurt anybody, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But he got hurt. Busted his neck, needs neck surgery. WWE said they're going to give him the money to pay for the surgery, but they're not renewing his contract. And he has been crying about this for the last couple of, month or two now. And he's been going on all the news sources and trying to get the sympathy out there for himself, saying like he thinks it's horrible that he's going to go from, having a consistent paycheck every week to getting hurt to not being able to work. And then now he doesn't know if he's going to be able to pay his mortgage. And somebody created a GoFundMe for him and all that shit. And,
hate to tell you this, bud, but that's life.
That is life, man. Like what, like to me, when I see it, like Jude said here, he's like, people are talking about their spending. I know it's a tough world out there and not everybody makes a lot of money all the time. Okay.
Sure.
Guaranteed this dude was making a decent bit of coin working for them. He had been featured on the shows. He was probably living way above his means. And thought that wonderful paycheck was going to come in forever. And WWE said, no, we don't want you around anymore. Like, we don't need you. Like, you haven't been a big star. Like, here you go. Do I think it's a little cold and cold-blooded to do to somebody when they're hurt to not renew them? I do. But, let's be fair. Like, that's business sometimes,
Yeah.
Like, they're still paying their obligations in the surgery. And whose fault is it that this guy didn't save his money?
Right.
That he didn't put his money. Yeah, that's your own.
If you can't afford your mortgage, obviously you got too high of a mortgage.
Yeah, 100%. Like I look at it like me and you are very conservative with our money. We always, we always talk about finances and goals because me and you are both business oriented guys on the outside, and it's something that's important to us to have for our families and things like that. And then we were talking about this with like business structure a couple of weeks ago off the air, and we were saying, man, how many times in your life did me and you do certain things when we were younger where we lived above our means and we learned our lesson from it? You learn and you grow. This is an example right here. This guy's probably driving around in flashy cars for him and his wife and his family. He's got a big house down wherever he's living. Dude, I could afford a big house, and I know you could too, but I ain't going to do it because I'm not going to be house poor, and I'm not going to go live that way.
I could afford car broke either.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I could afford a big fancy car if I wanted to. I'm not gonna do it because I'd rather save my money and get something that's moderate and normal. Right. This is a prime example once again of people that just don't think, and then they want people to bail them out. Now I think it's really nice that people did something like that, and I saw like Chelsea Green and Omos have been like they volunteered to contribute $1,000 a month to this guy through GoFundMe. A month, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, like really, really nice move on their part to do it.
That's $2,000 right there, baby.
Yeah, like $2,000, man. If that's above your mortgage, bro, you're living above your fucking means, and you need to move out. Like you got people helping you out now, but the sympathy and the bullshit and crying about things, like stop fucking crying about it now, man. Learn your lesson from this one. I'm sorry you got hurt. It sucks.
Yeah.
How many times in life have all of us got fucked at some point? How many times have you gotten stuck?
You got to keep going, man.
You do. Like,
life's a garden, man. You dig it, you make it work for you. In the famous words of Joe Dirt.
Dude, I know me and you have had this conversation a multitude of times through the years when we both got clipped on something that wasn't our fault in life, And then here you go through a life-changing issue, and there's all your fucking money goes down the toilet, like fucking that, right? And then what do? Do you be a big boy and fucking pull your pants up and you say, well, I lost it, but now I got to get it back. This is what I say to that guy, man. Don't fucking cry anymore and go help yourself.
Up.
Give a real job too.
Yeah, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, get up, and you're gonna have to get a regular fucking job. You know what I mean?
Stop crying about it, bro. Stop
Hate
whining.
to say it, but there's a lot of that shit going around in our society lately, and it's like,
damn right it is, bro. And
life's
it's a
tough.
shame.
Get a fucking helmet and deal with it.
Right there, man. I love that line. Life sucks. Get a helmet.
Yep.
Let me go to some of the comments here. Jeff Jarrett reminds me of the Conor McGregor of pro wrestling, both the talent promotions for big money and pro wrestling. All right, we'll talk about Jeff Jarrett later on. He's going to come up later on tonight for sure.
Yep.
It's a guarantee. I heard Karrion Kross wrestled Riddle at MLW. Does anybody know how that match went? Hopefully, Karrion Kross beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, with all due respect.
Hopefully, he turned it into a shoot and went off on Riddle a little bit.
Yeah.
WWE is at the Disney 1990 turning point, becoming a name brand corporation. Next thing you know, they're going to have a fucking theme park for WWE next somewhere. I don't go to Chattanooga, Steve, so I've never been to Chattanooga. I've been through Tennessee many times, but never been to Chattanooga. So.
Yeah, thanks for showing up for the show, by the way.
Yep. Both Young Bucks gave $1,000 too. Yeah,
so
pretty
you're
nice.
telling me he's getting $4,000 a month?
I guess. Pretty nice, right?
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Ric Flair's the worst when it comes to managing money. That's definitely
a fact.
Yeah.
That's factual.
Yeah. That's definitely a fact. Paul Heyman with ECW pushing Todd Gordon out and kissing up to Vince, his world famous politicking. Is that a good mention? Paul's probably going to be in our conversation tonight too.
Jude's like, anybody want to pay me $1,000 a month? I'll provide my Cash App and Venmo.
I'm all for it too. If you want to hook a brother up,
dude, get your money, boy.
If you want to hook a brher up, I promise you, man. I'm a hardworking dude. I could use $1,000 handout a month too. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
I think the Bucks was a one-time payment. Yeah, I think the two that were monthly that I saw was Omos and Chelsea Green. So apparently too,
he's not going to be around long, I don't think.
Well, apparently they got heat because they shared out the link to the GoFundMe, and Chelsea Green got heat on her, and she had put a tweet out or something like that, or Instagram post, whatever, and then took it down later on, trying to push out the GoFundMe for him. So
you better be careful, or she's going to be in the unemployment line like her husband, man.
She's going to be joining Always Ready Matt Cardona somewhere. Yeah. Well, she just won the U.S. title last night.
Yeah, she did. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, good for her, man. Good for her. But so apparently WWE had some heat on those people about it. I don't know how Omos still has a job, but God bless him.
Yeah.
How does that man have a job?
I don't know, man. He's not even a good big man in wrestling. No. You know what I mean?
Well, if I ever run through Tennessee, Steve, I would love to come check out a show, buddy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know when the next time I'm going to roll through Tennessee is, but if I ever do, man, I'd love to come check out a great show in the Chattanooga area.
Great place to be, man.
Tennessee's a beautiful state, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. I got to say it for anybody that's never been. It's really a very underappreciated state of beauty, man, that they got there.
Yeah, it is.
Good people, good food, good scenery, good what?
Good government too.
Yeah, they're doing all right, man. I know a bunch of people.
Tax is really low.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people that have moved to Tennessee through the years.
My whole family's pretty much moved out there by now.
Yeah, you've said before it's like a spot that you wanted to live, right?
I would love to end up in Tennessee someday.
There you go. Well, if we ever go through Tennessee, we'd be happy to definitely check out a show.
He can bend his knees more than the Great Khali.
Jesus, yeah.
Dude, you're on fire, man.
Yeah. Jude, a heart attack didn't stop Jude, okay?
Yeah, right.
Jude the dude is just he there ain't nobody stopping his ass, man.
Yeah, he was telling me before I went into surgery, he's like, we're too fucking stubborn to quit. I'm like, you damn right.
So you watched it, huh, Liza? The Juggalo Championship. I saw a couple clips from it online, and it reminded me of WCW.
Did it really?
2000. Yeah, it reminded me of the end of the spots that I saw were just cringe. You had cocaine sniffing.
No way.
Yeah, they had cocaine. They have a character called Cocaine.
Oh, Kane. That's the cocaine. Okay,
yeah, Cocaine. So they have a character. They got Big Vito rolling through with Violent J. And some guy's playing a guitar in the bathroom, and Big Vito gets mad at him and tells him to leave or whatever, and he's yelling at him. And then Big Vito gets mad in this clip at Cocaine.
Glacier level talent.
Yeah, Big Vito gets mad at Cocaine, who's taking a piss and is leaning up against the urinal, sniffing cocaine off of his off of his glove. Very riveting shit.
I'm gonna say this right now, dude. What cracked me up is when Vince Russo, after they had their first event, he was like, "Man, I've been around a lot of people, and Vince McMahon and everything."
He's the hardest
like
working.
That. But Violent J is probably the hardest working person I've ever met in my life, and I'm going, "What in the fuck are you talking about, man?" Vince McMahon lived, breathed, slept, everything WWE. You got.
And I'm sure Violent J is a hard ass worker, man, but to the level of Vince McMahon,
drinking Fago and fucking women, like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw that one skit, man, because I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, "This is the show. This is the riveting stuff." It was cocaine.
Listen, man, I love ICP. I've been a fan for a very long time, since the oddities and shit like that. Love Twisted, love all those guys. I've been to a few concerts and gatherings and whatever the fuck, and it's an interesting crowd, dude. They're an acquired taste of people if you get around them and stuff like that. But I'll say this: there ain't no way in fucking hell that guy's as hardworking as Vince McMahon.
Bro, I saw a Facebook group pop up for them after, what do they call the big festival, the gathering they do every year?
Gathering of the Juggalos, yeah.
It's like a fucking 5-day festival in Ohio or some shit that they do. And it's just drugs, nudity, booze, fucking concerts, wrestling, and craziness. And they're up all hours of the night. And probably about 9,000 bottles of Faygo is being drank the entire time. Yeah. So I saw a couple of clips from it. I've just joined one of the groups just to see. The fucking posts were some of the most entertaining shit that I've ever seen to people. The drama that they have in the Juggalo Nation, of all the Juggalos who know each other, like the different face paint concoctions these fucking creatures are doing on themselves.
Superhuman.
Yeah, he was on there, This is for the Juggalos and the Juggalettes. Do not try this at home. And I hope you like it. Whoop, whoop. Bro, in today's day and age, that fucking goof, Superhuman, he defines our culture today. Okay?
Yeah, dude, for real.
He defines our culture.
Really does.
That this fucking goof
Ricky,
can sit over there.
It's funny, man. I got a Hatchet Man tattoo as well. It's funny.
Yeah. This fucking goof can sit over there and literally make probably 6 figures a year throwing himself and doing stupid stunts and, quoting the Juggalos, man.
Yep.
What the hell, man?
Yep.
You got a Hatchet Man tattoo?
Yeah, I do.
Really? Where?
On the back of my calf.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's their logo, right? The Hatchet Man or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to him since the fucking 90s, dude. So.
Yeah, he fired cocaine for doing coke in the toilet area. I saw that. Yeah. That was what I was talking about last. That clip right there.
That's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, he ate more than a few paint chips in his day, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's okay. No lie. How many fucking microwaves do you think that man's jumped on, dude?
Bro, he just goes and ravages out on garbage night for stuff just so he can jump through it.
Right.
Like one day that dumb bastard is really going to hurt himself bad.
Listen, man, he say what you will about Superhuman. I'm sure he's making pretty big coin on his YouTube channel there with all his subscribers and shit. And not to mention, he's been featured at GCW and a few other things. So he's living his best life for what he is. You know what I mean?
He fucking was in there with Jelly Belly Nutella.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fucking Joey Jelly Belly, man.
He's got some notoriety.
God. And he gets like 1 million fucking views on every episode that he does.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting some coin there. So
I mean, he's definitely marketed himself somewhere enough that he's able to make probably a decent living off of this stuff. You know?
Retards need entertainment too.
We need something to laugh at, that's for sure. Yeah. We need something to laugh at. I'll be into the swimming pool of carnage. Every time he does the elbow drop, he just says, oh,
my back. Dude, we should probably do a watch along of Superhuman one night. Dude, that'd be
You want me to put a clip up of him?
Oh, please.
Let's do it. Hold on. Give me a second.
As long as we don't get kicked off the air for it.
No, we ain't going to get kicked off. This fucking idiot. Do you think he knows how to copyright shit? All right.
If we do, just make sure y'all follow. And by the way, guys, if you could, it would help us out a lot if you follow along on YouTube as well. I mean, we don't mind you watching on Facebook, but it helps us out more on YouTube. Just a heads up there. Appreciate you guys watching on YouTube and Facebook both, though. So
yeah, give it a like too. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for the video, guys. We greatly appreciate that. All right, so trick or treat, motherfucker. I got one for you here. Hold on. Let's pop it up on the screen.
Dude, I would love to interview Superhuman. That would be hilarious.
How much crack did your mother smoke when she was
fucking go off the rails?
When she was pregnant with you, bro.
Dude,
could you imagine?
Almost as bad as Bobby Walker. Like I want to get
Bobby
Superhuman.
Walker is just a lost man. He's out there somewhere. All right.
I can't find him, dude. I've looked for him myself. Here we
Here's
go.
Bobby. Here we go.
This is Superhuman TV show. Today I'll be jumping onto a toy skeleton.
Hell yeah.
Juggalettes.
Do not try this at home. I hope you like it.
Woo woo! Let's see how this dumb bastard hurts himself.
You can get the fuck this shit shirt off of Wrestling Tees.
This shit. Woo woo.
That's so awesome, dude. Dude, his mom definitely did Tylenol when she was pregnant.
You think? Oh, he's got a microwave in this one, bro.
Oh.
Hold on, we got the microwave here. Let's see. All right, kids, don't try this at home. Whoop whoop! He's a stunt man.
This is Superhuman TV show. Today I'll be jumping onto this microwave.
What the fuck is this guy even saying?
Juggalettes. Do not try this at home, and I hope you like it.
Oh man, this is gonna be a good one.
This is gonna hurt.
Oh,
Jesus, man!
That never gets old, man.
Bro, did you hear that fucking
Look
thump
at
on
his
his
eyes.
elbow?
Look at his eyes, bro.
We gotta watch that one again.
Dude, do that in slow-mo if you could.
It's a shorter, I can't. Come
Come
on, just watch his elbow hit the corner here, bro.
His eyes are going to sell this video.
Dude, he kips up like Shawn Michaels, man. After this. Watch his elbow on this shit.
He looked like he was hanging out with cocaine after you hit that thing.
Seriously.
Fuck this shit. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Oh,
Look at his eyes, like you said. Look at his eyes.
Looks like he licked a toad, man.
All right, let's do one
That's
more.
great.
Let's do a random one. Oh, butt buster onto barbed wire net of carnage.
Yes, please.
This is Superhuman TV show.
Dude, he's gonna sit on a cactus, bro. That's a cactus.
John Moxley. I mean, this is better than John Moxley.
John Moxley ain't got shit on this guy.
Not try this at home, and I hope you like it.
I bet you his pyro actually works.
Bro, this is gonna hurt.
He had a great Malenko shirt on. Or no, that's Little Box.
This shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Is that a cactus?
Yes, 3 of them.
My back.
My back.
You want one more?
All right, one more. One more for the road.
Oh, we don't want marble rocks. All right, let's see. Oh, flying elbow drop onto a cactus.
Yep, we'll do that.
Yep,
Cactus.
this is a good ender. Oh, yes.
Oh, dude. He even got a haircut there.
Bro, you could not fucking pay me enough to do this shit.
I hope you like it. Whoop whoop.
Oh god.
Do it, bro. Come on.
Fuck this shit. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Oh!
My fucking elbow. That guy's a treasure, man.
Oh, he's a national fucking treasure, bro.
That's awesome, dude.
What an idiot.
Sean Fuller, is that Mick Foley? Not quite. That's MDMA and Mick Foley's retarded cousin.
Seriously, bro. Bro, can you think Russo's gonna be booking him on TV?
Not a chance.
Bro, is Russo gonna be booking him on Juggalo Championship Wrestling soon?
Not
you
a
think?
chance.
Dude, I'm telling you, lads. I think it'll happen. He'll get him on there or something like that. Cocaine will choke slam him or some shit like that.
Off the stage into a cactus.
Yeah, I think that's Cocaine's move that he does for his character. That when he gets knocked down, Kane would sit up. He gives a sniff. They give him a little coke, and he pops back up. Pretty unique, isn't it?
That's pretty goddamn funny, dude.
Yeah, you got to give him credit on that. It's a pretty unique character.
They've got cocaine. They've got all kinds of gains. It's pretty funny.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a watch along one week to JCW Lunacy.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I don't know if any of us are ready for
that.
I don't know if any of us are ready for that shit at all. Bro, I could sit and watch that kid just jump and hurt himself for just
dude. I remember when you first showed me, you're like, hey, you ever heard of Superhuman? I'm like, no, who the fuck is that? You're like, oh, bro, get ready to live. And you sent it to me. You're like, thank me later.
And he's one of those ones you can just watch him.
Yeah.
And hey, God bless him,
Yeah.
He's doing his thing. He's, gets some notoriety and does it all from just being a dumbass and hurting himself. So
hell yeah, brother.
As long as he doesn't hurt himself too seriously, we don't want that. But keep up the butt busters onto the microwaves. That elbow drop onto that microwave was great, by the way.
That one was my favorite.
Yeah. You see a big hunk of the microwave just go flying in the air as he lands on that thing.
He looked like he was seeing interdimensional beings after he did that. His eyes just blew up like saucers.
Cocaine comes back
out. It
out.
was like Joe Rogan when he fucking takes acid, dude.
Doesn't he do it on some of the episodes sometimes with mushrooms and stuff?
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. God. He takes DMT too. That's fucking insane.
Can you imagine being loaded up on that jazz and doing like a 4-hour long fucking show?
Man.
No thanks, man.
Those smelling salts look pretty fucking harsh when him and Joey Diaz do that shit.
Oh, disgusting with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackass Crew, eat your heart out. I don't know. The Jackass Crew back in the day did some even dumber shit than Superhuman does, I think.
They did some disgusting shit.
Oh, fucking the worst. When Steve-O sniffs the wasabi that one time.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Thank God he's better now, man. That guy was not going to live long. You know what I mean?
Bam got sober too, apparently.
Yeah. We'll see for how long. You know what I mean? I hope so. He's skateboarding again, which is good.
He looks terrible, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's what alcohol does to you, man. When you're eating like shit and you drink a bunch of alcohol, it just fucking eats you away,
Yeah, that's a fact, man. It's hopefully he stays on the mend there because, it's no way to live your life doing that shit over and over again, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't no way at all. Well, let's get into our topic for tonight, and tonight's topic is going to be pro wrestling's greatest manipulators, the people that seem to always find a way to spin everything in their favor, the ones that are the behind-the-scenes drama sometimes, the ones that have about 20 lives, not even your cat 9 lives. These are the ones that just seem to find a way to always come out on top. And pro wrestling has a ton of them through the years, not just performers, not just office people or owners. There's just a plethora of stories we've heard through the years. So I'm going to kick it off to you first. Who's somebody that comes to your mind first that is one of wrestling's biggest manipulators?
I'm going to start off and open up with the Ultimate Warrior.
Good one.
One of the biggest manipulators on planet Earth. His character was phenomenal. His in-ring work was dog shit, but he had a way of manipulating. I mean, he held up Vince McMahon for a shitload of money. You know what I mean? And somehow, even not wrestling, he still remained relevant in the wrestling world for as long as he did. And I don't quite understand that. He had the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, all these things, and then somehow he managed a deal to get over there to WCW and had that horrible run that he did. And Jim Hellwig was Jim Hellwig's own worst enemy.
An awful human.
Awful human being, and pretty much everybody he came in contact with in the wrestling business, he would fuck over, talk shit about, cause some sort of drama. I mean, if you go and you can go watch the YouTube videos of One Warrior Nation, his channel that he had,
horrible,
where he's just burying everybody under the fucking sun. Kevin Nash, I mean, Triple H, everybody, and all the stuff he was saying was shit that he had done before.
Yeah.
The shit he was saying about them, he had done before. So he was a huge manipulator, man. And then even after Macho Man died, he used Macho Man in a lot of his stuff that he was saying. And just crazy. You want to talk about a manipulator. Like Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, he's got to be on that list.
How did he have so many lives with being such an unlikable fucking prick? you know?
And I'm telling you, and people loved him till the very fucking end. He still had diehard wrestling fans. He hadn't stepped in the ring for 20 fucking years, and there was
Yeah.
people still saying that the Ultimate Warrior was their favorite, you know?
I mean, I
So-
never got it with the Warrior because I was never a big Warrior fan at all. I was a Hogan guy, of course, but I was never a big Warrior fan. Like, I didn't hate him or anything like that, but I was like, what? As you heard all the stories through him, about him through the years, he must have just made them a fucking boat ton of money at some points with his
merchandise,
and stuff like that, that they knew that getting in bed with this guy that was going to be a headache no matter what, but they would still continue to do it. Even when he held up Vince for extra money and got fired, they bring him back later. Comes back and they're planning to push him to the moon, and it only lasts a few months again because of his attitude,
Yeah.
And I don't know what, maybe he had some shit over people. Maybe he just sold so much money and merch and people believed so much in what he could bring.
I think he bought his own hype, man. I think he thought that he was the character,
Yeah. Have you ever seen his reality show that he tried to do that he's put up on the internet with the kids?
No.
Oh my God, you've never seen this shit?
No, is it pretty crazy?
Dude, crazy is an understatement.
Is it his children?
No, they're like they were pitching this idea of him being like reforming troubled kids, So they'd send them to go to him, and he believed this was like his show idea that by working out, it's going to teach them structure. And he was like their drill sergeant in this thing. And drill sergeants, me and you have been through many, 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 many years of the military. Things way more intensive than boot camp, where you get hollered at by the meanest fuckers out there. You've had it done. I've had it done. You learn how to take it. Dude, this guy, when he did it, made those dudes look soft in it. It was some of the most crazy shit I have ever seen in my life. Like,
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I'll find a couple clips and I'll send it to you. They only did the one episode of it because obviously, like what network is going to pick this shit up? There's one part where he's teaching the kids squats, and then he just gets up and he's yelling at him and stuff. And he just gets up to the kid and starts hollering at him in his face. He's like, "This is what you're going to fucking do now. You're going to do a fucking squat. And how you do a proper fucking squat is you drop down like you're taking a big fat shit and drop all the way down like that. And then you hold it until I tell you to come up." And it's just, you're watching this thing and you're like, what the fuck? And then there's
like
one clip,
child abuse and shit.
Bro, the abuse is the end of it on the one, the first on the pilot episode, the end of it. I'll give you a spoiler on this one just so you can go watch this. And for any of you guys too, he takes the kids out because he lived in the desert in Arizona. I think he was from Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Or he was Scottsdale. Yeah. Right. The city on the outskirts of Phoenix. He was from Scottsdale and had some big ranch out there or some shit like that. So he takes the kids, he takes all like 6 kids or whatever that was in this group of troubled kids he's supposed to be coaching. He takes them out and they're showing him speeding out in his Suburban, and the camera's following along with it. And they go to the middle of nowhere in the desert. These kids don't even know where the fuck they are. He drops them off in the middle of the desert and starts screaming at them. And they're saying, what are you doing? He goes, "I'm dropping you off out here. How are we going to get back?" He goes, "God gave you 2 feet. Walk." And then the dude's dropping children off in the middle of the fucking desert to survive to get back. It's
like fucking holes.
Crazy, bro. Bro, it's wild. How much of it was staged, I don't know. But knowing the Warrior, I think it was probably pretty.
It was probably pretty real, dude.
If it was anybody else, I'd kind of think it was staged. But the Warrior, no. I think this one was kind of real, and I thought it's like those Jenny Jones clips from back in the day when she'd bring out, or Maury Povich, she'd bring out the big black guy D West to come out and he'd yell at the kids, and he'd get up in the Troubled Kids episode. You need to respect your mama. Your mama, she raised you. Get those tears out of your eyes, you little bitch. Get up there. He's got fucking arms the size of our head. He's yelling at him.
Shit, that's funny.
They go with D West for an hour, and then they come back to all yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am. They're all reformed in an hour with D West. Sergeant Buddy at the power plant. That guy,
God.
Buddy Lee Parker.
Yeah.
Have you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Sarge. Warrior's a good pick though. He's a real good pick.
What's your
all
pick?
Right. We mentioned him earlier. I don't know how this guy has got the opportunities that he has, and he's still to this day performing in the business, which is the craziest thing. He might be the biggest con man and grifter and manipulator in some way than anybody out there. He takes Hogan to task, in my opinion, with how many lives he's had at how many different places. You talked about holding people up for money. This guy did the same exact thing to Vince McMahon at one point, and it's none other than Double J Jeff Jarrett. This guy is
fucking shit.
gem.
I thought somebody was going to bring him up. Dude, that guy, you want to talk about a manipulator. And, you know, you can even see, even in his personal life, just from, you know, Mongo's wife, Deborah, to Kurt Angle's wife. And, you know, this guy is a manipulator behind the scenes. You know, when you're seeing him be with other wrestlers' wives and shit like that, I'm not a wrestler, never been in the business and stuff, but one thing I've understood in wrestling is you never mess with another, and just in life in general, you don't mess with another man's woman, you know.
No.
Jeff Jarrett definitely seems like he's that kind of fucking guy. I wouldn't trust him just based on the shit that I've seen over the years. If I ever met him in person and had a personal relationship with him, you bet your ass I would never trust him with a fucking BB gun, dude. Nothing. So, yeah, Jeff Jarrett, totally a fucking manipulator.
I don't get how he has been around so long and people just don't call him out on his shit enough for the things that he's done.
He was jammed down our throat by Vince Russo.
Oh, it was awful.
You know, with the WCW 2000 stuff. And prior to that, he had no real traction unless it was the storyline with, you know, China, or, you know, when he was a tag team with Owen Hart. Those were his real shining moments in the WWE. He had a good run with X-Pac for a little bit when they did the hair versus the European champion, or hair versus hair match. But those were his runs. He was never a like. I don't think I've ever met anybody. I can't say this though, because I never thought I'd meet somebody whose Taz would be their fucking favorite wrestler. But that being said, you know, I've never met anybody who said that Double J is their favorite wrestler. So
me neither.
Yeah.
I've listened to his podcast through the years. He's actually an endearing guy when you listen to him, but you can just totally listen to. Well, when you listen to him, he is an endearing guy, because that's the thing about him, why he's a manipulator, because he's endearing to people. You believe he's a genuine and really good person, and he's the type to just, like you said, steal your old lady right from you, man, and take your business while you're at it too, and take your kids. You know, and you hear his stuff, like the guy's rap sheet is he bounced around so many fucking times. He held up Vince, I think, for like, what was it, like $300,000 because. Yeah, because he didn't want to drop the belt to China or something like that. And, you know, part of that was their stupidity because his contract ran out that, you know, night before. And he held him up, didn't get seen or heard from on WWE television until 20 some odd years later when he came back for the Royal Rumble and the Hall of Fame introduction. Dude even got voted out of his own company, basically, when he sold it to Dixie. And then when he banged Kurt's wife and created a problem for him there, got booted from there, came back, you know, got it some stake in the company, got lost it again, had more problems, went to WWE for a little bit, lost his gig at WWE or left, went to AEW, works over there now. I mean, this guy has been.
You know, for a fact, like when a guy has an ego that big, he names himself the king of the fucking mountain in TNA. Like, you know.
Yep.
Just ridiculous.
I think he only held him up once, Laza, but I know they had their issues through the years with those two.
It wouldn't surprise me if he held him up twice.
Do you go for him as a Hall of Famer? Like when he got in, do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah.
No.
I agree. I think his resume is so built up because of TNA for people, with him creating it and how many times he put the belt on.
TNA
himself.
Hall of Fame, yes. WWE Hall of Fame, never.
I mean, the best he was over in WWE was an Intercontinental Champion. But all in all, as a whole, as a wrestler, do you see him as a Hall of Famer worthy for WWE?
No.
Yeah.
If Jeff Jarrett was out of wrestling history forever, I don't think people would really be missing much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he's still going. He still gets in the ring occasionally today, apparently.
I mean, the one thing that I appreciate that came from Jeff Jarrett was the Road Dogg.
Yeah, because you love the New Age Outlaws.
I love the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, they're like one of your favorite like tag teams of all time, right?
Road Dogg's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I'd say he's probably top 8.
Well, I know who number 1 is. It's Bobby Walker. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We all know who number 1 is in your book, okay?
Yeah. Number 1 should be for everybody across the board, Bobby Walker.
Fucking universal.
I mean, El Dandy's at least second.
He's at least for El Dandy if he's not in people's top 5. I mean,
I don't know what to say for you.
Yeah. I don't know what to say at all. I know Bobby's no manipulator, but tell me your next manipulator in wrestling.
So my next one is going to be universally on everybody's list because this is just the fucking, as far as promoters, definitely top 3 of all time. As far as managers, the greatest of all time, in my opinion. But you got to look at this from my perspective. With the ECW, Paul Heyman was probably the biggest fucking manipulator with acts and talents and stuff like that. There was times that they were performing without getting fucking paid. This dude was robbing Peter to pay Paul constantly, dude. And he was playing backstage politics on different shows, poaching talent, all kinds of stuff, and he was doing it to survive, which is one thing, but a manipulator nonetheless. Paul Heyman, to me, a manipulating genius. He was the guy that was not supposed to fucking make it, but he manipulated his way to the top of that company. And you got to give him respect for that, man. And he stayed relevant and everything like that. But definitely Paul Heyman would be my next pick.
He just screams sleazebag when I see him.
Yeah.
He just screams out sleazebag, but people overlook it because he's had a lot of great ideas.
Yep.
People think that he's, the be all and end all of everything in wrestling and all that stuff. And, is he a creative guy? Absolutely. Is he a bright-minded in business? Of course. Has he done a lot of great things? Absolutely. Is he a sleazebag and a manipulator? 1,000%. I mean, imagine, like you said, not paying your talent, not giving them any money.
Bully Ray would say that he'd be on the phone with Paul Heyman asking him, hey, when's this check coming through? Oh, yeah, I just got paid by the network and everything like that, but the check bounced, so I got to go back and all this stuff, when really he would gamble the fucking money away, Yeah. So it's like, when you look at the fall of ECW, there is nobody to blame except for that man, 110% why that company sank.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing because his parents are the ones that kind of, footed the bill for it forever. I guess his dad was like a rich lawyer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents basically like put their life on the line for that. They put their house and everything, up for that company as collateral.
Paul Heyman to me was, on a very small scale, Tony Khan before Tony Khan was what he is. So that's what he reminds me of. That was his little toy box that he played with wrestlers, and Paul Heyman was that guy, man. Manager, greatest of all time. Promoter, yeah, he ran ECW, but he ran it into the fucking ground.
You put him as the GOAT for managers?
I do.
Interesting. I
do.
I could definitely
everything
see
he touches pretty much gold. With the exception of fucking the 2 turds that they gave him,
Kurt Axel.
Yeah.
And Cesaro, let's not forget that too. He couldn't even polish that turd up either.
Cesaro had an opportunity. Cesaro was taken off. WWE didn't use him the right way. When they had the Cesaro section thing going on and stuff like that, they really could have played that guy up. And I think Cesaro has a place in being a star. Ryback and Curtis Axel, that's a tough one, So, with the exception of those 2, I think he did a pretty damn good job with everybody else.
I love the Dangerous Alliance in WCW too. That's some awesome shit. When you go back and watch that, he was very cutting edge on the stuff that he did. Very edgy, very intelligent, and of course with what he did with ECW. But that dude is just shady as hell.
Yep.
And people still work for him despite not getting paid, like you said.
Yeah.
Shows you how endearing it is and how good of a puppet master he is to really pull people's strings. Well, I don't know. This might not be a popular one with people, but I'm going to say it anyways because I think she gets too much credit sometimes than she deserves. And I think
Michelle McCool.
Oh God. No, it's not Natty either. All right.
Yeah.
I could do a whole show about her manipulating wrestling, but I'll leave her off tonight. But I got to go with Stephanie McMahon. I find her to be somebody that creates a lot of bullshit and drama, and she gets a free pass often.
She looks rough on her podcast, dude.
I don't watch it. I can't stand her voice for more than a few minutes.
Episode. She looked horrible.
Yeah. Just how so?
She just doesn't look like she's in shape anymore. Like she just let it go,
Yeah. I can't listen to her voice. I can't listen to her talk. When I hear her, I hear some of the stories about like what people have said about her through the years, how fucking cutthroat she is to them, and how she swept things
What she
under the
did to
rug.
Ashley Mazzaro.
Absolutely, that's one of the examples right there that I was definitely going to say. And you hear about that, and her pulling her strings to get people out. And it even goes farther. We'll probably talk about her husband in a little bit. I think he's definitely going to come up here shortly, but we're looking at Stephanie here. Look at China's life and how it turned out.
Yep.
Would it have happened the same way if they wouldn't have done what they did to her, and how they would have humiliated her, forced her out, done all those awful things? And I know things happen in a personal life, and I'm not saying that's an excuse for how China acted at points, but
I don't think China deserved to be kicked out of the WWE for what they
absolutely
did.
not. It's bullshit. You know?
I think they felt guilty and they couldn't look at her anymore. And I think that it was kind of them saying they didn't want to face the problem they created.
Yeah. And it's sad, man, when you look at the whole thing. And I think Stephanie was at the forefront of making all that happen. And I think there's many more instances through the years, and I just don't think it gets talked about. Yeah, I've heard his last. He's another one that I've heard, and I believe him with when he talks about his with her. They brought him back in 2002. Vince brought him back, and he only made it a couple of weeks because when Stephanie saw that Vince brought him back, she pitched holy hell in a fit about it and refused to want to work with him. And of course, Vince, said, "Well, then I shouldn't be here if she doesn't want to work with me," and that was it. She's done it to a lot of people apparently, and I think she gets a free pass often because she's the spokesperson for them all the time. But her old man, I think, with the main reason her daddy dearest got kicked out and got forced out, in my opinion, was because of her and her husband leading the charge.
I think Stephanie knows a lot more skeletons that her daddy's got than she lets on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think she knew about all that fucking shit that was going on, and the apple don't fall far from the tree, if you know what I mean. So when I heard that story about Ashley Massaro and what happened to her over in Iraq, and then her coming back and Stephanie promising her, this is a safe space, we're going to get you taken care of, all these things. Then they bring her in, they fucking fire her,
Terrible. And I believe it.
Yeah,
I do.
And there was even some rumors, and this is just for, entertainment, education purposes. It's not factual, hasn't been proven in court or anything like that. But there's even theories out there that Vince McMahon was even sleeping with Ashley Mazzaro and manipulating her in that way too. So I believe it. I believe it. There's a reason why that woman's not on this earth anymore. You know what I mean? So.
And there's this thing called, we hear it on the internet all the time with some of the YouTube channels or the TikToks or whatever it is. People get shadow banned. And that's what it seems like that family does to people often when they really don't want to deal with somebody anymore and they really want to get rid of some of the skeletons from their own closets. They just shadow ban them out and make their lives a living hell, and that they can't make a living in what they're supposed to be doing and what they're used to doing. And when you're doing that to somebody, that's wrong. Nobody should be forced out of making a living or treated in a certain way because of certain things that happened.
I agree.
Sometimes shit doesn't work out. And I think there's so many things that people just don't say because they don't want to be blackballed from the business. They don't want to be blackballed by those people because, let's be realistic, they're all the power players, in the world of wrestling. So people probably don't want to speak up. And I'm sure she has some great qualities too, but she just rubs me as a phony, a fucking fake, and just somebody to me that loves to pull the strings on people and loves to manipulate others and has done a damn good job doing it. So
for sure.
Give me one more before we go to break.
So the next one, a lot of people make this man out to be the GOAT, and he is good. He's great. He's been on top for a very, very, very long time. But how could we not mention another wrestler manipulator that's been on top? I think he's worse than Hulk Hogan, to be honest with you. He even stole somebody's gimmick to make it his own, and that's the Nature Boy Ric Flair. When you're sitting there and you're talking about a guy who politicked, who held people back, who made people look bad, who still makes people look bad, the guy talks out his ass constantly about stories that didn't even fucking happen. It's bad when your best friend Arn Anderson won't even fucking talk to you or talk about you anymore. And that's his claim to fame, is the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair, and being Ric Flair's enforcer, and he won't even mention him anymore. So you gotta just sit there and think. And his gimmick was robbed. That was not his gimmick originally. And
it was with the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers or something.
Buddy Rogers, yeah.
Yeah.
And took that and made it his own and stuff like that. And it's Ric Flair to me is one of those guys that has manipulated his way to the top, held on way, way too long, and he gets too much credit for what he is, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't find Ric Flair being the greatest of all time or responsible for moving the needle. I wouldn't put him anywhere near Hulk Hogan in that matter at all.
His big appeal wore off in the 80s, at the end of the 80s to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had his moments after that. I'm not saying he didn't, but his big appeal really started coming off about 89 to 1990. And then he got real stagnant, and then they wanted to make him into fucking Spartacus. And WWE, of course, jumped on it, ran with it. It only lasted a little over a year or two, maybe a year, 18 months, something like that. It was a short thing. The guy's got always, everywhere he goes, he ends up owing them money, or he's broke, and they're bailing him out. I've heard stories about when he was in TNA where he would demand to Dixie Carter to get his, to get money paid to him up front, that they had bar tabs that where he ran a $25,000 bar tab up somewhere, and they had to, front him his money for the show for the rest of the time, so that he could pay his fucking bar tab for the night. I mean, why would you want to employ somebody like that? What good do they bring to the table much?
And to make him like he's the greatest of all time is a shame. I mean, it really is, because he's not a model employee. He's not, the guy is just a piece of work, and people make him out like he's a wrestling god or something like that. And I never saw him as a needle mover. They had him in WCW, opening up with Hulk Hogan. That was a huge moment. Of course, the Ricky Steamboat stuff, the Terry Funks, all that stuff. It has its place in history. But being mentioned as one of the greatest of all time, I wouldn't even put Ric Flair in the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's I've never been a big fan either. It's always been to me, I respect his accomplishments and what he did and his love for the business and all that shit, but never was a big fan myself of Ric Flair in any way.
Wrestled the same fucking match every match.
I always say the same thing right there as you do, man. If you've seen one Ric Flair match, you've seen them all. It's the same. It's the same shit. And when he'd have those long 60-minute long matches, it's just rinse and repeat Ric Flair.
Same fucking bump, same fucking go home moment, same everything.
Yep. I mean, I loved his matches too with Steamboat and Funk and Sting and all that. I loved those.
But if you go watch those matches, it's the same fucking match
all the time,
every time,
every single time. And if you look at him, and any time after he came back, I mean, they had that little run in 92 with him and Vader, they kind of proved to something 92, 93 when he came, or I think it was 93 when he came back, and they did that whole thing. And then as soon as Hogan came in, it just made him irrelevant. They got the one match they always wanted to get out of them at the Bash at the Beach. And Rick, to me, just kind of fucked around and didn't do much for the remainder of his time. NWO comes in. Horsemen looked like just an
They made them look so bad, dude. I've actually been watching that on Nitro every night. I'm actually at that point now where they do that promo, Ric Flair crying all the fucking time. And that's spot on. You hear so many shoot interviews of him doing that, and it's like, Jesus Christ, how's this guy looked at as one of the top in wrestling history? I'll never understand that, And then to make a mockery of probably one of the best send-offs we've ever seen in wrestling history, and then come back years and years later when he's way overdue and should not be in the fucking wrestling ring. I thought that was disrespectful.
I agree. I think he got the best send-off ever from WWE that they could have done for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, other than John Cena getting an entire year,
I think him and The Undertaker and John Cena have had the best send-offs.
Well, Undertaker really never had his final match, though. He just kind of...
That one with AJ Styles was pretty good.
It was, but it was like he had still...
Okay, let me ask you this, because this could be a whole other topic. Mm-hmm. How else would you write The Undertaker off?
You had to do it that way that they did in that AJ match. You had to do it because
he had him right off in the sunset in his bike.
Was. I think, though, that he still held on to the belief that he was going to be able to get in there another time or two in his career. Mm-hmm. And he said that. I've heard him say that he had still hoped that he could get in there, but he knew at some point
he wanted it to be in front of a crowd.
Yeah. And he had said how Vince said he would do anything for him, but I think Vince was the one that really convinced him not to get in the ring one more time after that, because Vince, I think probably Taker's one of the people you hear about that Vince loves the most, and rightfully so. You know, Taker's always been loyal to him and always been that person, called him out when he needed it to. But I think Taker wanted to get in there again, and I think Vince said, come on, like,
it's time.
Yeah. I don't want to see you get hurt even worse. Haven't you done enough? You know, haven't you done enough?
What do you got?
Rick got the best send off out of anybody, though, other than Cena getting the last friggin' year, you know, that of 2025 monopolizing our television.
When you look at Ric Flair and you look at all the people around him, the ones that so-called were his best friends, Arn Anderson, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all these people.
Around.
Nobody's around. And when you have a situation, even in our lives, you know, when you have a situation like that where there's multiple people that don't want to mention you, don't want to talk about you, most of the time you need to look in the mirror and reflect on yourself, because it's usually you. You know, it ain't everybody else. You know?
And that's the hardest thing for some people to see sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you're
the guy has just never been able to get it fucking right. Even with the world by the balls and being who he is, he just has never gotten it right.
I mean, how many was he been married, like 5 times or some shit like that by now? I mean, nothing ever lasts with this man.
You know, crashed in a fucking airplane, lived through that shit. You know, tons of situations in life where it's like it would rewire anybody else to start getting life right. You know, losing your son, all these different things.
Being in a fucking coma for
being in a fucking coma, your body shutting down. The first thing you do is go to a fucking bar afterwards, like. Bro.
Yeah, you go to I love the story he tells when he got out of rehab one time. They sent him to rehab, and he said the first thing he did right when he got out of rehab was drive right to a bar and go have a drink.
Right to the fucking bar.
Why do people support people like that?
Why is he looked at as the GOAT?
Agreed. Why? I just don't get it. You know, I know they were real close. I think
they were both heavy drinkers too.
Oh, big time. Hogan paid for Flair's kids' rehab the last time because Rick didn't have the money to pay for it.
I remember you telling me about that. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, the shit you never hear and think about sometimes, right?
Hulk Hogan did a lot of shit behind the scenes that was never talked about, and that was the kind of man he was. And everybody says how guilty of being codependent Hulk Hogan actually was. You know?
Oh, I could definitely see that one. Well, guys, we're going to take about a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more because there's plenty more people to talk about on this topic. So let's say about 5 minutes and we'll come back and we'll get right back to the topic. So, all right, 5 minutes, guys. We'll be back.
Trouble is a tale, the same old story to every
All right. Hope everybody enjoyed some of the Slickster singing, man. The Slickster's got some good. He's got some good vocals, doesn't he? All right. Hope everybody enjoyed some.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Is that
I just wanted to. This may be a little bit off topic, real quick. I just want to touch on something that I just saw. I'm kind of upset about this, man, because it's quite ridiculous. You want to talk about a fucking manipulator in combat sports and the wrestling world? Ronda fucking Rousey.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Goes out on a podcast and says Joe Rogan is not a MMA expert. He has no relevance in the MMA world. He's a fan with a fucking audience. And that Taekwondo is not real fighting. Well, I got news for you, Ronda. Judo is not real fighting either.
Yeah, I heard a clip of somebody saying the exact same. Eric Bischoff said the exact same thing.
And when you found out what a real fighter was, you got kicked your fucking mouth, and Amanda Nunes fucking pummeled your ass to fucking death too. So when the real fighting started in your career, you fucking lost, Ronda. So
and she married that domestic abusing piece of shit, Travis Brown. Yeah,
and he got his fucking block knocked off by Derek Lewis.
Lewis sent him into retirement.
So you want to talk about a fucking manipulator? Joe Rogan has one of the hardest kicks ever recorded on file, man. That's one of his records, is his fucking shuffle side kick that he does. It's one of the hardest kicks ever recorded. So but Joe Rogan is a fucking fighter. Joe Rogan knows how to fight. He's never fought in the UFC, but he's always treated the fighters like they're fucking superheroes, and he's always gone to bat for them, even when he was a comedian. He always said the UFC has a place in when nobody would book them, you know? So Joe Rogan's a pioneer in the UFC, and he was way, way before Ronda Rousey. I mean, he was in the beginning of the UFC. So I think he's got more relevance than her, you know?
And he had hair back then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he had hair back then. Yeah. Joe's been around forever.
Dude, that pissed me off when she said, "What the how?"
Isn't he like a BJ? Isn't he a BJJ black belt too?
Yes. Who the fuck attacks Joe Rogan? You got to be a miserable son of a bitch to attack Joe Rogan. Like,
I don't know. I don't. He's an annoying guy to listen to for a lot of his points of view, to be honest with you. So I can see people going after him for being kind of a dope sometimes. But
I'm saying in the UFC wise, when have you ever heard anyone say anything bad about Joe Rogan?
No, I agree. I mean, he's the best commentator that they've ever had for sure, and not to mention he's got the biggest audience in the world for podcasts.
Yeah, I'm sure he's worried about what fucking Ronda Rousey's saying.
As he's making about $100 million a year off of his deal or whatever the hell
he's somebody in the wrestling world that came over. You stole Roddy Piper's fucking gimmick, you know, literally stole. You couldn't create your own fucking gimmick. You had to steal Roddy Piper's shit. I get she was paying homage to him and everything like that, but you stole his fucking gimmick, you know.
I saw that about Liver King, Rick. That guy is so obnoxious too.
That guy's a douchebag.
Oh, he is. Was he like threatening to kill Joe or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's real bright, you know.
Yeah. Well, that guy's not bright to begin with. He lied about steroids.
So. You think? I mean,
anybody could have saw that shit.
When he eats the fucking eggs whole and he's crunching on the oh god,
the guy had more acne on his fucking body and his face than most teenage boys. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck out of here. How are you gonna say that he's not on steroids?
I love the Judo Gene LaBelle story making about Steven Seagal shitting himself. That one is one of my favorites. Like, I think we've told that on the air before.
He did help train Roddy Piper, yeah.
Have you ever heard about Judo Gene making Seagal shit himself? Yeah. That guy's one of the biggest D-bags ever, I think, Steven Seagal.
Oh, man.
What a
tool. Talk about a manipulator. Good God.
He walks around with those fucking shooting glasses on, you know, and says how, remember, what was it, when Vitor Belfort got kicked in the face by, I think it was, Anderson Silva or something? And he comes on after, I taught him that move. You know, I taught him that move.
That guy's a fucking goof. You got to cue that shit up. That guy's a fucking goof.
I gotta make a sound bite of that one day and put it on here. Fucking goof. Fucking marker. Fucking pussy.
I'd take that dude in the trenches any day.
That's a man's man right there. Okay,
dude.
That dude is over with me every day of his life.
you don't fuck with that guy, bro.
No.
Even in his elderly age, man, you don't fuck with him.
You see he punched somebody at the UFC last year that got mouthy with him? Yeah. No. There's a clip from last year. He was in the crowd and some dude's mouthing off to him and somebody's got it on their cell phone and the guy's mouthing off to Don about something, and Don just turns over and the guy's in his face talking to him, and then they got him on the phone, and you just see Don just go, pop, right, just drops the guy, just nails him right in the chops. And they asked Dana White about it. They go, oh, what happened with Don Fry in the crowd? And he basically just laughs and says, Don Fry is Don Fry. Don Fry can do whatever the hell he wants.
The only person that Chuck Norris fears is Don Fry.
In his mustache.
What
a guy he is. Give us your picks too. We want to hear your guys'
fire
picks.
Away. Yeah.
Fire away, guys. It's just a random chat here we're having tonight. So we're just talking about a lot of different stuff. So fire your picks.
Don Fry's a gem, dude.
Fucking goof.
Fucking goof.
Fucking goof. What a guy.
Yep.
We got to get Don. Let me see if I can find it.
Do it. He's drinking out of a horse trough.
Fucking goof.
I don't know why the fuck Dwayne did that. Guy's a fucking goof.
Well, I got him. Let me put it up on the screen. Yeah, let me unmute him. All right. Let's bring it up. We can't talk about Don Fry and not play this clip.
Yeah,
Parker's a fucking goof. He's a fucking goof.
He's a fucking goof.
Anybody who knows him knows he's a goof.
That mustache,
The
dude.
Rock apparently playing him in a role about his life, I guess.
Rock's a dumbass to do that. You should pick somebody better to represent. Kerr ain't the one. Kerr's a fucking goof.
No way, dude.
Horse trough!
Dude, that's so awesome.
In what way?
He spits shit on.
Every way. Shit. He's a fucking idiot. You know, and sit there say he was scared the whole time and he never wanted to fight. He did a good job for a scared coward, you know. Shit. Of course, he's juiced out of his fucking brain. You know?
He did juiced out of his brain.
Dude, if we could get that fucking interview, oh my God.
He's a gem.
He's a fucking goof.
Oh, God. He's a gem, bro.
We need a soundbite of that.
I'll make one and put it in the reel and just randomly play it at certain times when somebody dumb says something. He's a goof.
Fucking someone
Fucking
comes in
goof.
saying Jeff Jarrett's their favorite wrestler. He's a fucking goof.
He's a fucking goof. Fucking goof. God, I love him. Don. Well, National Treasure Fry.
Mm-hmm.
We're changing his name to that.
Yeah.
All right. Wrestling's biggest manipulators. Let's get back to the topic here. Jeremy, give us yours in a second. But I'll go with one. We talked about Stephanie. How can you not talk about Triple H?
Yep.
This guy, he is the ultimate shark in the back.
Yep.
I mean, he went from being the guy that took the brunt of the stuff from the Clique when they all had the curtain call to the guy that got a shot, had a relationship with China. We talked about it earlier. Banged the boss's daughter, got together with her, got married, had kids, did the whole thing, and worked himself up from being a wrestler to where he's at now, which is probably, other than Nick Khan, the most influential person in professional wrestling right now. You're not going to get there without being a manipulative person. And people say a lot about Triple H. There's a lot of people that say great things about him. There's a lot of people that don't say nice things about him. I think he's an in-the-middle type guy where if he likes you, he's going to go to bat for you. And if he doesn't, he's going to do whatever he can to step on you to get rid of you. That's the type of person that I foresee when I see Triple H and the personality. It's very telling about him when every opportunity they get to highlight something big that's going to go on, or to highlight something big that's going to happen in the near future, or something that they're going to do, he always has to fucking be front and center for it. Like, look at that stupid WrestleMania poster reveal that we were talking about last week. Who's front and center right in the commercial?
Khan's a fucking goof.
He's a fucking goof. What he used to be the agent for The Rock. He's a fucking goof too.
He's a fucking goof too.
But I mean, it's like this guy is the ultimate carny. Triple H. He's the ultimate carny, bro.
Well, I posed the question to everybody when talking about Triple H, okay? phenomenal fucking career, phenomenal fucking WrestleMania entrances, wrestled every great wrestler in the fucking book, phenomenal feud with The Undertaker, phenomenal feud with Stone Cold, phenomenal feud with The Rock. But when you go back and you look, would he have ever gotten there prior to being with Stephanie McMahon? Would they have ever elevated him to that fucking point prior to Stephanie McMahon? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I mean, when you go back and you watch, he was a mid-card talent for most of the time until that storyline happened. You know? And then all of a sudden that storyline happens with Stephanie. They get together. The rest is history. He gets elevated to an authority figure and stays that way for until now.
Yeah.
You know? So, do you think Triple H would be as successful today and be in the office and be in the position that he's in without marrying the boss's daughter?
Absolutely not. No, I don't.
I don't.
No, I don't either, bro. I don't think he would have had the career that he had, like you said, if it wasn't for her.
No.
You know, did he have a great one? Sure. You know, would he have had a solid career? Absolutely. I think he would.
He would have had a solid one. It would have never been. He definitely wouldn't be in the position he's in now.
No way. Not in a million years if it wasn't for her.
And Vince McMahon. And that's why, you know, I think it's a really disrespectful thing because I'll be honest with you, you know, it's a pretty fucking low blow that Hunter would bring back Brock Lesnar, who is implicated in the same fucking case that Vince McMahon is. And you would feature Brock Lesnar on fucking WWE television and stuff like that. But the guy that fucking made you, the guy that gave you the position that you're in, you wouldn't go to bat for him. You wouldn't talk about him. You wouldn't mention him on WWE TV. He hasn't been convicted of anything. You know, I mean, to stab that knife in the back of Vince McMahon is the guy who gave you your fucking career to begin with, and the money that you have, by the way, signed your paychecks, and kept your fucking worthless ass around until you started banging his daughter. You know, because he almost kicked him out of the WWF back then. You know, gave him a shitty gimmick and everything. You know. So it's crazy to me when people say that Triple H, you know, would still be where he is without Stephanie McMahon. That's not fucking true at all. And I think it's really disrespectful how he's treated Vince McMahon, to be honest with you. I'm not saying Vince isn't a fucking weirdo or a goof. I'm not saying that Vince hasn't done those fucking things.
All that they have is because of him.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the guy brought you to the fucking dance. You know, he's your father-in-law. You married his daughter. He gave you the paychecks that you got. He gave you the position that you're in. He even told you to come into the office and stop being a wrestler, you know. Gave you everything you have, and you fucking turned on him, you know.
You think it hurt him, though, to do that?
Did it hurt Hunter or did it hurt Vince?
Hunter. Do you think it hurt Hunter to have to do it to him?
I don't.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Triple H is a maniacal. He's got the same kind of personality. You know what I'm saying? He's very similar to Vince McMahon in a lot of ways. He doesn't play that character on TV, but you can tell with people that guy has an ego probably bigger than Vince McMahon's. You know?
I think in his own mind, too, that he thinks he can be bigger than him one day.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the thing that they're trying to prove.
But I think, don't you think that's kind of fucked up loyalty-wise?
I definitely do. You know,
horrible,
it's like you know, it's like the teacher versus the student type of thing, you know. And the teacher,
I respected it for the fact that, like, I was like, okay, they're gonna wait till this thing blows over, maybe, and if nothing happens, you know, they won't. I know they won't bring Vince back, but at least mention him on TV, induct him into the Hall of Fame, whatever. WWE's controversial; they always have been, anyways. Bring Vince in. He hasn't been convicted of anything. Give him his moment in the Hall of Fame. You know. But then they bring Brock Lesnar back. That's when I was like, wow, what a piece of shit move. Like, you sit there and basically bash Vince McMahon, say that you're going in a different direction, you know, everything but say that he was the reason for WWE failing in the time that it was. Like, you stabbed him in the fucking back, man, you know?
I heard an interesting thing about Vince the other day when you're talking about, you know, with him getting stabbed in the back and everything that happened to him. And we'll get to you guys' comments here in just a second. But so I'm listening to the show that JBL does with Conrad. It used to be Bruce's, but now JBL's been covering it for a long time. So I tend to listen every week. It's a really good show. JBL's a great listen to, in my opinion. I love JBL, and always will be over with me. He is the wrestling god too, but he's just such a great storyteller, so entertaining to listen to. So they're talking about Vince McMahon this last week, and Conrad had mentioned that it'd be the biggest thing in the world if Vince ever did a book. And he's like, but no, I don't think Vince will ever do that, is what he said. And John starts laughing. And so Conrad asked him, he goes, do you think Vince would write a book? And John's laughing. And he's like, do I think he's going to write a book? He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, and in fact, I think you'll probably see one within the next year or two. And Conrad was like blown away by
JBL's really close with Vince.
Yeah, he was at his 80th birthday party recently, so he said, well, I don't know if I said something I shouldn't have, but I would highly suspect that you're going to see a Vince tell-all book, and you're going to really see a side of Vince in this book. And then they were talking and continuing on the conversation like we're talking about now, where people kind of just stabbed him in the back almost a little bit. It seems just, excommunicated him from his own company.
Everybody, even Randy Orton, people like that.
Even his own daughter,
his own daughter.
They all did. I mean, they excommunicated this fucking guy. And, they're talking about if Vince will ever come back.
None of them would have a fucking pot to piss in without him.
Yeah, nothing. Not a damn one of them. And so then they're talking about Vince, and he's like, people say all the time, Vince has just more money than he could ever do with. He should just ride off into the sunset. And John just laughed, and he goes, those are the people that don't know Vince. He goes, Vince is the most determined person, and when Vince feels wronged by something, he will never let it go.
Nope.
He will never let it go. He will fight.
He's a power taker.
Yeah. He said he will fight for his beliefs. He will fight for what happened to him in every way possible. And that's just the way that he is. He doesn't mean he's going to do it to you right off the bat, but he's going to find a way to get back at you for what you did to him. So basically, all those people, I think Vince is one day going to really shed some light on this stuff in the near future. And even if he does bring back something, which I don't think anybody thinks is going to be a big success or anything like that, but if he does, Vince is going to do something, I think, to stick it up these people's asses who really
I hope so. I think the biggest way he could would be to appear on AEW.
Yep, we've said it so many times. Yep. It's the best way to do it. It'd be the ultimate FU to them. These are two great ones, Bill Watts, Ole Anderson. We've heard so many stories through the years about these two guys for sure. Two of the ultimate carny promoters that really took care of themselves always kind of found their way, in power. Jeremy's got a good one here. The Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, he bounced around a ton and always kind of found a way to make himself stay somehow relevant.
And he wasn't even that great of a fucking talent. So it's
I agree. I never saw it with the talent.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Wrestling-wise, I thought he was dog shit,
Yeah. I never really saw. I thought it was cheesy as hell with the Dungeon of Doom stuff.
Yep.
I'm not a huge Kevin Sullivan guy in any way.
No.
I don't have any disrespect towards him. God rest his soul. He's an interesting storyteller, and I'm sure he has a very bright mind. But he always found a way to, to stay relevant somewhere in the business. Yeah, nobody's mentioned Fit Jason and what's going on. Jason's good to see you, buddy. I haven't really heard of any bad stories of Fit Finley being a manipulator. Have you?
No, me neither.
Yeah, enlighten me a little on that one, Jason. If not, I've always been a Finley fan. I've always liked a lot of his work. Ultimate tough guy too, right?
Yep, for sure.
I've had some good cameo videos, but I've been ripped off on a cameo. Kevin Sullivan ripped me off. Rest in peace. What did he do, Laza? Did he just give you like a shitty one or something? Or just not do it?
I think he paid him for it and he didn't do it, is what he's saying.
Oh, that's shitty. Brock Lesnar is notorious in pro wrestling and MMA for being a business-minded and having clashes with promotions. Yeah, and he gets away with it wherever the hell he is, basically.
Yep.
Most people aren't going to want to say anything bad to him.
Yep.
He went from Vince McMahon's the greatest promoter. We all love Vince to we all hate Vince. He's the Don King of pro wrestling.
I don't hate Vince, dude.
I don't either.
I don't hate Vince. I feel really sorry for Vince. I do. I think that what he was doing, was it wrong? Absolutely. But I'll ask any man out there, if you were a billionaire, and you had all the fucking power in the world and shit like that, like, you're going to be doing those fucking things, and you probably get really bored with your time and shit. Now, am I saying that you should be trafficking women? Am I saying that you should be shitting on them? Am I saying all that? No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not I'm not putting credibility to what he did at all. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna bring Brock Lesnar back, who's involved in the same fucking case, nobody's been convicted. Why wouldn't you mention Vince on TV? Why wouldn't you bring him back? Why did he get shamed and kicked off the board so fast before anything fucking even happened?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wrong, and then not just do that, but then make Vince an example, like, and Triple H being the most guilty of it. You made him be like the cancer of the place when he built it to fucking begin with. It's like all of a sudden Vince is like the worst fucking thing that ever happened to WWE. None of you would have a fucking job if he wasn't there to begin with. So I think there needs to be some sort of respect put back on his name. He hasn't been convicted of anything yet. And the case is going to close. I don't think he will be convicted of anything.
No, he's not.
So I think it's wrong altogether.
He's not. I mean, the
lady only did it because she didn't get her $3 million fucking dollars. And the only reason that they are putting him on trial is because he used WWE's money and not his own.
But it's not a crime that is going against him.
No.
It's not a crime. It's a civil suit.
It's a civil suit.
And this civil suit's going to drag on for a long ass time. Okay?
It's not like a situation where, O.J. Simpson with his wife and shit like that. It's literally something that happened behind closed doors, and then fucking he used some money for it, and that was it. Like, to throw the man off that created the fucking... I'll never understand why this was the end of Vince McMahon. I never will. Never will.
Didn't rape her. Didn't do anything that wasn't consensual.
It was all... And then when you look at the love notes from her to him, it's all consensual.
Yeah, it was consensual. There's been nothing proven that was unconsensual. The only thing that we can say about it is, the reality is, it's really disgusting sex things that he was doing.
Yeah.
And that he was into. But once again, none of what he was doing was illegal or wrong. So how can you judge somebody because their sexual practices on what they like are different?
If you're going to do that, you better go to all these fucking orgy places that they have that are, operating and stuff like that. You better bust all these fucking politicians because they're doing the same goddamn thing.
Yeah. Who the fuck are we to judge what somebody does in their off time?
Absolutely.
As long as it's done in a legal manner, as long as it's nothing that's being done illegally, then how can you fault somebody for...
I just, for the life of me, I can't understand wrestling fans who are like, oh my God, what a piece of trash and all this shit. He didn't fucking do anything illegal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had different sexual practices that are outside of the norm.
You better not like Jim Cornette then.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
That dude's like a swinger and shit, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Ridiculous, but I agree. Dusty's a good one too. Dusty's had a lot of ups and downs through the years, and was always a guy that took care of his own self when he was working and when he was promoting and booking. Dusty's a very good example. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I met Dusty Rhodes in person. Probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. He was a very grumpy, very didn't like the fans type of thing. Like, he was not gracious with time. Dusty Rhodes, for what he portrayed on TV versus what he is in real life, he was a very different individual. I'm not trying to talk ill will about the dead. I'm just saying the experience that I had,
Was he just rude?
He was just rude, man. Didn't want to be there. Didn't give a shit. Yeah.
Total letdown.
Oh, total letdown. Because you see him and he's so energetic, and so you watch his 80s promos where he's dancing with the fans and shit like that. Like, that's not him in real life at all.
Total fucking act, right?
Total act.
I mean, he bounced around everywhere too. This is a guy, another one. He's kind of like a Jarrett in a sense that, excuse me, he had a million lives. He had sorry, I don't want to cough on everybody's unintentionally there, but he was always he was somebody that just always bounced around and was able to find his home everywhere. When he left and wanted more money, he used his power to his own advantage so many times. Good pick, Les. A really, really good pick on that one. Yeah. Eric Bischoff should be the president of the United States, as he is a good politician. I love Eazy-E, but abso-fucking-lutely, he is a definite schmooze artist too.
He manipulated Hulk Hogan to the grave, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Worked him to fucking death.
Yep.
Straight up.
Always found a way to get himself involved in his business opportunities.
And it usually centered around Hulk Hogan.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see how long Real American Freestyle sticks around for without Hogan going it.
I give it.
I haven't watched any of it, so
I haven't either.
Yeah, Russo and Ferrara could have been some good examples from the beginning, but I think they were both for them just being fair. I think that they were very transparent a little bit with who they were and what they wanted to do. I think they just clashed with people. I don't think they were necessarily manipulators in any way. I think you knew what you were getting with them, and they were very concrete in it, and they were looking out for themselves. Ferrara was done after WCW. He did a little bit with TNA, and that was it for him. Russo, though, I mean, he's stuck around and done his thing in other ways and with podcasting and stuff through the years. I don't find him to be necessarily a manipulator in any way. I think he's just who he is, and he's a polarizing figure.
You know, somebody who I respect a lot and like a lot, Jim Ross, dude. You know,
yeah,
huge manipulator.
Yep.
You hear all the stories with the talent of him fucking coming and having to smooge deals over with them, or hey, just go ahead and do this gimmick, or hey, you know, whatever. I mean, there's tons and tons. Road Dogg's got great stories about Jim Ross fucking him over so many times. So Jim Ross is definitely a manipulator there, dude. You gotta fucking put him in that.
I mean, he got his big start with Cowboy and followed him around with Cowboy Bill Watts, and was always kind of Cowboy's guy all the time, and always found himself in the ability to get big promotions within WWE. And to be honest with you, I've listened to his show through the years a little bit off and on. I find him to be one of the grumpiest dicks in the world all the time. He's just a surly old man, and I get he's had some issues in his life, and I feel terrible that he lost his wife and everything like that. But he's a guy that is just, he seems like he's an asshole in real life.
Yeah.
Like I've never met him personally or anything like that. I've seen him live a bunch of times, but he's the type of guy that I think that if you were in the airport in the morning and tried to get a picture with him, he'd tell you to go fuck off and walk away from you or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
He's still getting paid a lot of money by AEW even to this day. So,
yeah, to walk his ass out there, and yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, give me one more.
Ah, man. You're not gonna like this, obviously, but you
Hogan.
gotta say, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hulk Hogan for sure, man. You got to mention him. I love Hulk Hogan. Got nothing but respect for him. Hate that people hate on him so much. And I'm talking Hulk Hogan in his prime versus Hulk Hogan that was saved by Christ. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, the wrestler.
Don't work for me, brother.
Was always fucking paranoid about his spot. People taking his spot over and everything like that. He would hold people back and wouldn't work with certain ones and blackball them and stuff like that. There was a lot of great things that he did that wasn't ever talked about, but some of the bad outweighed the good. Hulk Hogan with the creative, you don't have to look no further than creative control, right? I mean, for a guy to have that in his contract, the size of the ego of that guy has to be fucking huge, and to manipulate his way to have that and then use it he used it all the time, creative control, So, yeah, Hulk Hogan's definitely got to be my last one, man.
It's funny. Bischoff will go through and say, "Oh, Hulk never pulled the creative control card."
Bullshit.
That's what I'm sitting there in my head and saying, and then he'll go on and tell you how Hulk might
that
not
Roddy Piper shit that they did, where he was choking him out, and they were like, "Oh, Piper won, but it was a false finish and whatever the fuck." That was creative control by Hulk, no doubt.
He'll say it wasn't creative control. He was putting his suggestions in that he didn't want to do it. That's fucking creative control, man.
Control, you idiot.
Yeah. That's creative control right there. Saying, I don't want to do it. That's creative control right there. He's telling you he doesn't want to fucking do it.
Hey, brother, that might not be okay.
It might not work for me, brother. Hulk's my all-time favorite, but he's one of the biggest manipulators in the history of wrestling. No doubt about it.
He had good reason to be.
Yeah. I think people I think he had to be that way because he had so many people in his life, that were milking him, and using him, friends, family.
They milked him to the grave too.
Damn right they did, man. There was no reason that man should have been out there.
I love Eric Bischoff to death, but he's definitely the guy that overworked him, even in his old age. I guarantee you all of the choices, all the things you were seeing, the tireless schedules, all that stuff. Again, education purposes only, but I think Eric was behind a lot of that.
Yeah, nobody wanted their gravy train to dry up. They wanted to get it till the end.
Yep.
And it's a shame. And they absolutely 100% did. It's a shame, when you look at it. So I'm not justifying how he's acted like a shithead at certain points, but I can see with the life that he lived and the people that were in it.
Yep.
You can just see that that's kind of one of the things. But hey, hindsight's 2020. I mean, he was looking out for himself. It didn't work for him, brother.
Nope.
I'll give you my last one. And I think this guy's probably the biggest manipulator in professional wrestling today.
I hope Shawn Michaels is an honorable mention at least.
Well, Shawn definitely in his career has been one for sure. There's no denying the Heartbreak Kid definitely was a pain in the ass and pulled some strings. But this guy that I'm going to mention is somebody that's really kind of come along over the last, I think, maybe 5 years. And he has taken WWE to the next stratosphere in his own vision, in his own way. And when they brought him in, and it's none other than Nick Khan. And this guy is probably the shiftiest dude in professional wrestling right now.
Guy's a fucking goof.
He's a fucking goof. He worked with The Rock. He's a fucking goof too. Yep. Nick Khan, to me, probably is the biggest grifter.
Go take a drink of your horse trough now.
Oh, let me get a little sip here. Hold on.
Let me get a little sip of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not spinning on my own floor here.
No.
I'm not in the horse stable like him.
Right.
But Nick Khan, this guy started as an agent, and I think he was The Rock's agent at one point or something like that. But or Ari, the guy from TKO was, or Nick represented him. Nick had a big part of The Rock of some sorts.
Yeah.
This guy works himself up from being an agent to where he's at now. And this guy got himself fucking stock options. He got himself the royal treatment, multi-million-dollar a year salary. And he's brought in, let's be realistic, he's brought in billions of dollars for them with his ideas and his visions. But would he have ever got those opportunities if it wasn't for Vince McMahon?
No.
Vince McMahon brought him in to be.
That's my whole point, man.
Yeah.
Of this whole thing.
And then it's another one. And this is the biggest one to me because he's outside of the family. And it seems like Vince kind of brought him in like family. He let him into his circle, which he never typically did with people. Lets this guy in. And it seems to me that all the division in this family where Vince, Steph, Shane, Linda, I know they had a crazy relationship or whatever, but they always seem to stand by each other. It seems when this guy came in is when it really all imploded for Vince.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the fucking puppet master of them all. And he was manipulating each and every one of them to get exactly what he wanted. And he has more power and money than he could ever know what to do with now.
I think you're 1,000,000% right. Nick Khan's one of those guys that you just, you let him at your dinner table and they're fucking taking it over right away. And that's what he did, man. Vince McMahon is guilty of letting this guy in, letting Triple H in. I always thought that Shane McMahon would get the reins, or at least it would stay in the family and go to Stephanie or something like that.
Nope.
Dude, I mean, it blows me away to sit here and say that there's no McMahon at the head of the table at WWE. It still baffles me that that's the reality that we're in,
You know where I think it kind of went down? I think this is kind of the ladder of manipulators in that company, the ones who pulled the strings to kind of get everything the way it is now. And just the biggest, if I was to look at the number one, it'd be Nick Khan. And to me, Nick Khan probably when he came in was all gung-ho, helping him out, got him a big deal. And he knew in the back of his mind exactly what he was going to do and exactly how he was going to get control of things. And I think the next person that he went to was Triple H second. Yep. And he got Triple H on board first. And he got him to work on the other board members and the other people. And then Triple H probably realized then at that point that he needed the stroke of somebody else to help him maybe reach some of the other board members there, people that maybe he didn't have as much to do with before. Who else is better than his own wife, Stephanie, who then helped him out. Then who else is going to be even better than to fuck over Vince to get him back for all the bad shit that he's done? His wife, who apparently he lived apart from. You get Linda on board, and then you get Shane on board a little bit too. Nick just went down the ladder,
one by
Nick,
one.
Triple H, Stephanie, Linda, Shane, the whole thing. And he did it.
It was a house of cards.
Yeah, I think he did it, bro. I think he's the biggest manipulator in professional wrestling right now.
Probably. I mean, so much so that he defeated Vince McMahon.
Amazing. It's amazing. Who do you think Vince wants to get back at the most?
Who do I think Vince wants to get back at the most? That could be a topic all on its own, man. I think that shortly, when all this clears up and the court case is dismissed, I think that there's going to be a tell-all book, like you said, and I think it's going to blow everything wide the fuck open. And I bet you he implicates a few people in the same actions that he was doing.
Who do you think he goes after the most, though? Which person?
Nick Khan.
Yep, me too.
Nick Khan. I think Nick Khan, and I think maybe Linda.
I think he's going to lead Linda B.
You think so?
Yep. I think he'd lead Linda B. I don't think he blames her for that type of stuff. I think he knows that she helped him a lot through the years, and they did.
He might have some skeletons with Rewind in her closet, man. You never know.
Rewind talks very fondly of her.
That's a punishment bowl waiting to happen there.
No, it definitely is. But I think Vince and Linda have an amicable agreement for the most part with things, and I think that he leaves that one be.
I think he goes after Triple H.
Oh yeah, I think he goes after Triple H and his own daughter. I don't think he really does much with Shane. I don't think Shane's really wronged him to the level of other people, to be honest with you. I think Shane's probably been the one that's been the most loyal to him. But I think he takes out the first two easy targets, for him when he does it, or however he's going to get him back. It's going to be Steph and Triple H that he's going to get first. And
why is there so many rumors that Triple H isn't going to be there soon?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
That's all I read on the internet. Triple H isn't going to be there soon. Triple H isn't going to be there soon. Triple H is going to get forced out of the company. Why is that?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen any of it. I think Vince is going to have a real good time when he's ready to and get Nick Khan in some way. And I'm not saying physically. I'm not saying violently. I'm not saying that, people. He's going to go after this guy because Nick Khan is riding high, man, and he's riding rich, and he's taking out the king, man, and he's running the shit and running the show and blah, blah,
It's almost like a coup, isn't it?
It is. And if you think that fucking Vince McMahon is not going to want to go take that dude out by the jugular, he made a career eating pieces of shit like that for breakfast. To quote Shooter McGavin.
Pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yep. To quote the great Shooter McGavin, he has made a career out of destroying the biggest names. He took fucking Ted Turner out, okay?
He beat the U.S. government.
Damn right he did. Do you think for a million fucking years that he is not going to want to get a little redemption against these people, and especially the guy that he brought into his own circle and fucked him over and forced him out?
You think Vince ever pictured his legacy being a shamed WWE billionaire that created the whole show, and now
I don't think Vince cares about his legacy.
You don't think so?
Nope. I think he knows what he did himself, and I think he's content with it. He's a self-made man. He's an egotistical guy. He's all those things.
Yeah.
I think he knows exactly what he did, and I don't think he has any care about his legacy. He knows what his legacy is. His name will go on forever. People will never forget Vince McMahon. Ever. Nick Khan.
It's fucking heavy, dude.
Forgettable.
It's pretty fucking heavy if you think about it.
Isn't
I think Nick Khan's a weasel myself.
I do too.
He's a Tony Khan-esque guy, just on a bigger scale,
Yeah, he's a goof.
He's a fucking goof.
He's a fucking goof. I, for one, if Vince goes after him in some way and really fucking just takes him down in some way, I'd be rooting along for it, bro.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
It's like I said, man, they stabbed Vince in the back so hard, and I feel sorry for him. I really do. Every time I see him and he's getting older and older and stuff like that, I feel so bad because, I don't think he deserves the treatment he's getting right now, man. I don't think he deserves the treatment he's getting from the wrestling community. I don't think he deserves it from the WWE, and I don't think he should have been shamed and kicked out. He wasn't convicted of anything. They should have let the court case play out. If he was convicted of it and guilty, fine. He wasn't.
You know how Vince takes Nick fucking Khan down easy anytime he wants?
How's that?
He's a goof. Get Don Fry in there.
Goof. Oh, man.
Let Don go in and take care of that fucking business.
Just send Don Fry's mustache. It'll scare the fuck out of him.
Bro, you send him his mustache and to let him know it's Don's. Nick Khan's jumping on the first plane to some island in the middle of nowhere. He don't want none of that
You send Don
shit.
Fry's mustache with a water bottle full of his spit from the horse trough. That's it, bro. You're over.
I fucking told him before.
That's
your
a
boy
death
Rock's
threat.
a goof.
Yeah.
Fucking Kerr's a goof. Fuck Smashing Machine. That shit did 6 in the box office. That fucking goof. Nobody wanted to see that.
Smash Machine.
Fuck you, Nick Khan, you fucking goof.
Why the fuck would you make that movie anyway? Guy's a fucking goof.
About a fucking pansy like that.
Guy was
fucking
juiced to the
nervous.
fucking gills.
Well, fun topic tonight, bro. That was a good talking about the dirty side of professional wrestling. We're gonna do after we do this next week. We're doing Joey's topic on Wednesday, the Great American Bash '89 and everything. So we're gonna do that on Wednesday. But the next week,
Is it War Games?
Yeah. I'm sorry, not Great American Bash. The War Games, the '89 War Games is the one that Joey chose. But after that, me and you were talking about doing conspiracies today. So after that, after we do Joey's topic this Wednesday, we'll do wrestling conspiracies the week after that. Richie's a big conspiracy theory nut. As soon as he mentioned it today, or was it you or me that mentioned the topic today? I think it was you.
I think I
And I floated this like idea by you, and then before I knew it, there's like a whole fucking website that you sent me with wrestling conspiracies and all this stuff. And I know you probably read.
And it gets crazy, dude. Some of them get crazy, but
I know
fun.
you probably read this thing about 20 times.
Yeah.
You know, so we're gonna do wrestling conspiracies the next week after Joey's show. So
we're not going to go too heavy on the big ones because everybody's talked about them to death. But
we'll
cover some of them.
I don't want to talk about Benoit. We've talked about it so much.
I don't want to talk about Benoit. I don't want to talk about
Screw job.
Those are the two. Yeah, the screw job. We're going to leave those three out. So.
We're going to do different ones. So we're going to do a couple of good ones. There would be some maybe people or things in them that you're maybe not as familiar with too. Some of the older stars.
We got to get a Don Fry shirt made in this motherfucker.
Dude, can you imagine the shirt that he'd have and just have the big fucking
mustache? We just need a fucking Don Fry mustache that said, that guy's a fucking goof.
That guy's a fucking goof.
Yep. And on the back have a horse trough.
Yes. All right, brother. You got any closing thoughts before we head out tonight?
Oh, man, I appreciate y'all showing up for the show. There's Joey. What's up, buddy? I appreciate y'all showing up for the show and watching it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was just a spitball show. We just kind of went by the cuff. So hopefully you enjoyed it, man. We got a lot of content coming for you guys. And, yeah, man, we'll see you down the road.
All right. Well, we will be back on Wednesday night. Once again, we got Joey's topic on Wednesday. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have fun. And we really appreciate you guys this time. We really appreciate you coming out and joining us tonight, and we will see you guys on the next go around. So for Richie, I'm John. We're out of here. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Wrestling with Reality.